Being organized in everything you do will make you successful. It's very important. Now, as young people, right, even in school, be organized. In sports and extracurricular activities, be organized. Because right now, you're having fun. The right side of the brain, right, that's about creativity, that's about unity, it's about coming together, it's about fun, emotions, all of that, right? But then you have the left side of the brain, and that's analytical, segregative, and it compartmentalizes things. So you have to also tap into that while you're young so you can prepare to be organized, because you compartmentalize things, all right? So what I'm saying to you is, in school, when you know where your study materials are, when you know where your books, your apps, your software, everything is at, right? It just makes things easier. Any tools that you use to study with, it makes things easier. Now, a lot of y'all want to be grown, right? You think you're grown, you think you're a man. I'm a man, right? I'm a woman, right? Well, when you become a man or a woman, you have to do things like go to motor vehicles. And when you go to motor vehicles, they might say, you need these documents: birth certificate, passport, driver's license, proof of residence, 4 or 5 proof of residences. You might need about 8 documents sometime. Sometimes you might need 5, but do you know where they are? Do you have them? Did you apply online to these antiquated government systems in some cases to get these documents so that you can get the car or the registration or the license that you want? You have to be organized. Sometimes if you move into an apartment, right, they want to know all of these different things. They want your credit. Is your credit up to par? Is your credit, good? Did you pay all your bills so that your credit could be good? Because else they will reject you. Sometimes jobs reject you if you have bad credit. So again, you want to be organized. So as adults, for us to really have fun, most of us, we have to be organized first, make sure everything's prepared, everything's in its proper place, everything's under control, and then we go out and celebrate and party and live our lives, live it up. But first, the foundation is that you have all your ducks in a row, that you dotted your I's and crossed your T's, you know what I'm saying? That's what you have to start learning to do in order to be successful as you go into your future. Even going into a trade school, college school, etc., you have to have certain documents. Where are your documents? Did you apply for those documents? Did you look into FAFSA for financial aid? You see what I'm saying? Do you have your tax documents or your parents' tax documents from the previous year or two? You need certain things like that. This is real talk. So if you're responsible, you're a man, you're a woman, you have to have this down. And it's not easy. You have to stay on top of things. You can have an Excel file in your computer or your phone, right? You can have all kind of accounting software, or you could just have it on Word, right? But you have to have files, and also it's good to have hard copies that you have in, some kind of organizational unit or component as well. Okay. There's other situations where they ask for a lot of documents, and almost everywhere you go, you're going to get hit with it. When you're born, you need the birth certificate, and you might need that birth certificate down the road to get in school, for the parents to get you in school or whatever. When you're married, you need a marriage certificate to prove it. You need a will. Many people die intestate. That means without a will. And when they die without a will, you can't say, well, that was my father or my mother, so I get the house and I get the car. Most state governments' law does not work like that. So what you will have to do is go through probate court, and it's a mess. And then also all the other family members that are under that person, like grandchildren and great-grandchildren and wives and all of this, they all have to agree to certain things, and they all get a cut, a percentage after the court is finished. And it might take a long time. So it's important to have a will. Okay? What else? So that's when you get married, when you die, they need a death certificate. As hard as things are, when someone passes away, if they're close to you and you have to end up dealing with the funeral, that's emotional, but you gotta say, okay, hold up right side of the brain. I know you won't cry, or I cried already, I got the emotions, but now you gotta come on over to the left side of the brain and say, okay, I gotta go to the funeral home. I gotta go first to get the death certificate, right? Or a funeral home might get copies for me, but you gotta have money to pay them. Or hopefully you had insurance, right, for the funeral. Or the person had insurance, and then you have to call them up and get certain things, and they're gonna ask you for a death certificate. See, this is things nobody's gonna tell you. Perhaps sometime, but school ain't gonna tell you. But a lot of people don't tell you this, right? So, yeah, when you're born, you need a certificate. When you get married, you need a certificate. When you go to school, you need some transcripts. You need your records, right? Your grades. And then when you die, then you need your death certificate. When you move, you need certain documents. When you go into a different apartment or a house, you need certain documentation. So that's what happens when you get grown. And that's why when you say silly things around adults, they look at you like, go somewhere. Because you don't know what you're talking about. You may have a knowledge of what's going on in the world, information, data, but you don't have an understanding of certain things until you have experienced it, dealt with it, worked with it, handled it, organized it, and got it under control. You get it? All right. So I know this was a heavy one, but it's serious because people aren't going to tell you. So I told you. Because who am I? Mr. O, because you know I like to flow with the data, yo. All right? Peace. Mr. O, I'm out. Hey.